Hi, I'm Corey with the Storytellers Travels, and today I want to talk to you guys about why I decided to buy a dually truck for my truck camper. So stick around. As you may know, if you've seen my videos before, I had a 2018 Ram 2500 4x4, and I bought our truck camper while I had that truck, and I thought that truck would be able to tow this camper around without any issues at all, and it did. The truck was capable, but I was way overloaded with the truck. The last time Karen and I went camping, we stopped and we weighed it, and we were weighing in at 12,760 pounds with empty water tanks. Now that truck's got a 10,000 pound GVWR, so we were well overloaded. If I would have filled up the freshwater tank, we'd have been well over 13,000 pounds. And although I had put airbags on the truck to kind of mask the problem, it drove good enough, but it was very rocky. In windy conditions, it was scary to drive. And even passing 18-wheelers, I could feel it moving a lot more than I wanted to. And I was always white knuckle on the steering wheel, and it was a stressful drive. And honestly, I just thought that was part of having a truck camper. And I watched so many videos about people. Pretty much every time you put one of these campers on a truck, on a three-quarter ton truck, you're basically overloaded. And so it was a safety concern for me, and the stress of driving it, I could just get over it and deal with it. But the safety aspect of it made me really want to reevaluate what we were doing. So when we weighed the truck and it was as heavy as it was, Karen and I had to have a serious conversation, because we want to travel the country with our camper. In fact, this summer we're planning on making a trip across most of the United States, and I didn't feel it was the safest thing to do, 3,000 pounds overweight. So what we found, now as you know, right now you cannot find a new truck anywhere. And if you order one, you're looking at 8 months to 10 months out. And not to mention they're extremely expensive. So what Karen and I did find was this 2019 F350 dually. Now this truck's got a 14,000 pound GVWR, and I believe it weighs in right at like 8,500 pounds. So we have a substantial increase in our payload capacity. And I'm driving it right now. This is our first camping trip with this 350. And let's talk about the fuel mileage actually. So this truck has the max tow package, which means it has 410 rear end gears. Now, I drove 70 to 75 on the way to the campground, and this truck is solid as a rock. 18-wheelers don't bother me anymore. The wind doesn't bother me. Look at me now. I'm one hand on the wheel, relaxed, and I drive it just like normal. But what I found was the fuel mileage in this truck, I will tell you, is horrible. My Ram would get around 20 miles per gallon, 18 to 20 miles per gallon, with the cruise set at 75 miles an hour on the interstate. Now with the camper, it would drop down to about 11 or 12. So my fuel mileage on the way up here with this camper in the Ford, I was averaging 10 miles to the gallon, set at like 75 miles an hour. So on the way back, I'm just doing a test run right now. I got my cruise set at 65 just to see if that makes any sort of difference in fuel mileage, because even a couple of miles per gallon over a 5,000 mile trip, let's say, will save a substantial amount of money with diesel being as high as it is right now. But as far as putting a truck camper on a 1-ton dually, it is night and day difference. This truck is 100% capable, and 18-wheelers passing me right now, and I don't even feel it. It's just a really nice truck. And I think if you're serious about using a truck camper and really traveling with it, the 3/4 ton will only get you so far. They're just very easy to overload, especially the Ram. The Ram only had a 2,100 pound payload capacity, and we were obviously well over that at 13,000 pounds. right now we're on the elevated section of I-55 South, coming from Ponchatoula towards Laplace. And in my Ram, with my airbags pumped up, I literally had no suspension in that truck, and I physically could not drive on this section of interstate. It would beat you up, so I would have to drive the low road, Old Highway 51. Now in this Ford, I have no airbags on the Ford, factory suspension. This truck is driving excellent on this high rise. It's still a little bit bouncy, but it is totally comfortable, and I don't have to get down and drive on the low road anymore. So that is a definite plus for the dually. The factory suspension is doing what it's supposed to. Now it does sag quite a bit. It's sitting on the overload springs, but it rides excellent. But I may go ahead and put airbags back on this truck just to level it out. These LED lights on this F350 are super bright, and I'm afraid that with it leaning back a little bit, that I may be blinding people at night. But as far as the truck's capability of handling this camper, it's outstanding. Outstanding. Super impressed with it. Super impressed. We're pulling off of the interstate in Laplace, and since this is my first time with the truck and the camper together, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the scales and make sure I am within the 14,000 pounds. I'm 99% sure that I am within the 14,000 pounds. In fact, my guess is gonna be 13,300 pounds is my guess. But I know this can be a little bit intimidating. Not everybody has been through a scale before, so I'm gonna show you how easy it is.
Can I make a guess?
Yes, make a guess.
13,150.
13,150 is Kara's guess. So when you go into the scales, there'll be a sign over it. Show it to them. There'll be a sign over it, the cat scales, and it'll tell you what side to enter on. If you come from the other way, it'll tell you do not enter. You want to put your front wheels on one scale and your back wheels on another. You can see they're divided with the yellow lines.
How are you gonna reach that speaker?
Very carefully. See, just hit the button. And you're just gonna...
First way?
First way.
Truck number?
It's a personal truck.
Alright, come inside.
All right, thank you. So it's that easy. They're gonna ask you for a truck. They're gonna ask you first way or reweigh. You tell them it's your first way, and they ask you for a truck number, and you just let them know that it's a personal vehicle. And Kara's gonna be sweet enough to go inside. All you gotta do at that point is you go inside, you go to the truck area. They'll have a separate checkout for the trucking area, and you tell them you need to pick up your weigh ticket. So let's go park.
Welcome, truckers. Oh, what did I say? I forgot.
You said 13,150, and I said 13,300. So Kara's gonna go get the ticket, and we'll see who's right. So here she comes.
What did you say again?
With the ticket. I said 13,300.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
13,000. Let's look at it. 13,260 pounds.
I won.
The steer axle is at 5280, and the drive axle is at 7980. So as you can see, weighing the truck is no big deal at all. It's very easy. Don't be intimidated by it, but I do highly suggest go weigh your rig. These campers, when you're loaded down with these things, they get really heavy, and we definitely have made the right decision in going with the dually. something. So guys, look into it. If you're not comfortable driving your truck, putting band-aids on it helps. The airbags, I would call a band-aid. It'll support the weight of it, but it makes for a really bad ride. And what we were getting a lot too was our camper was porpoising a lot. The cab over that camper was really moving around a lot. And I'll show you on this one, it's moving around a little bit, but it is substantially better than what it was in that Ram. It's pretty solid back there. I really felt like I was flexing the truck in half. It was moving around so much. So I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope you got something out of it. If you're feeling a little nervous about driving your 3/4 ton with a truck camper, I would seriously consider looking into a dually. You can find them. They're out there on the used market. And I think we got a fairly nice example. This is the Lariat. It's got everything you could need on the inside. Now the outside's not perfect. It is a used truck, no doubt. It's got 47,000 miles on it. But I think it'll get Karen and I across the country in comfort and safely. And that's the most important thing. You want your family safe and the people around you on the highway to be safe. So we'll see y'all on the next time we take this truck out. Y'all have a good one.